Today is January 23rd, and these are some X factors, some things that need to change for the Yankees to have a phenomenal 2024 season. Thanks for joining.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us today on Talkin' Yanks, and appreciate you hitting subscribe. That's awesome. Thank you so much to you guys for tuning in, subscribing,
Tell them
listening.
about the race.
We're in a race with another channel that shall not be named.
It's tight.
It is really tight. It pees me. You know, it doesn't. SeatGeek and Code Yanks is going to help you out over there. You can go to the app, the website. You can check out all the events going on. There's concerts. There's ballets. There's recitals. There's one-man shows, two-man shows, three-man shows, Blue Man Group. You can get all of that at SeatGeek, and they have the value if they let you know. Good seat, bad value for the seat. Oh, this is a medium seat, but the price you're paying for a medium seat's excellent. Scoop it up. Use code Yanks for $20 off your first order. Jake, how are you?
James Davis, Blue Man Group formed in 1987. That's a show that's been going on for a minute, huh?
Yeah.
Happy for them. Happy for us. I think our Yankees are going to be a little bit of a Blue Man Group. I think they said that the road unis aren't going to have the white outlines on the jerseys or something this year. First jersey change since 2015, so some of the kids are hot to trot on that. And you know I don't like to say hot to trot. That's a turnoff.
I'm gonna hold on. I gotta head to
Susan.
I gotta head to UniWatch.
You heading over to UniWatch?
That was our source on that.
I'm gonna go to uniwatch.com. Make sure I figure this out.
UniWatch?
Exclusive.
I saw it on Talkin' Yanks Twitter. Follow.
Yankees making changes to road uniform. Why?
Gotta get the filth off of last year. Change everything you can, right?
I was trying to think of which team's uniform it did. Like there was a newer uniform that it did remind me of, and I was like, oh, I guess that kind of style is is back in. I guess. Change
Interesting.
something.
Yeah, so the white outlines the blue. That is a difference.
Significant.
Yeah.
That will look very different.
Remove something from the jersey.
Will look and say, whoa, this looks different. There's no stroke on the New York, on the road unis. It's just, they got a picture of Mickey Mantle wearing.
Yeah, it looks throwback.
Yeah, it does look throwback. Interesting. Okay, so wow, breaking news. Is that one of your X factors, one of the three you're going to be presenting in the show today?
It could be one of the X factors I'm presenting today. Don't want to reveal anything now because we're each going to give three, and then Joe's is going to give his one. And if it's a repeat, pantsing.
Yes, yeah. You're not allowed to repeat. We're not allowed to.
No repeats.
Yeah.
Anyone repeats.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Who wants to start?
Beebs will start.
Oh.
Wow.
Youngest to oldest?
I'm honored.
Youngest
I'm honored
oldest.
to
Well,
start.
with your hair down like that, I think that you're younger than Beebs.
How would I do that?
Yeah, maybe so.
It is a floppy hair day,
Floppy hair day.
which I support. I think at minimum, I haven't discussed this with with Jake at all, but around the office, I think I've come to the conclusion Jimmy and I have the same number one X factor, and that I think is Carlos Rodon, both short term and long term. It's him having a bounce back, healthy season is incredibly important for the Yankees' outlook. Year 2 of a big contract. Year 1 went as bad as it can go, and I am hoping to be able to laugh about that this time next year.
I saw Carlos Rodon going in this discussion.
I also knew Beebs was. I granted him to Beebs. I said, here
Because-
you can go first. Let's start with the problem.
Because I want to read you just two quick things, if you don't mind.
Okay.
2023, 14 starts, a 6.85 ERA. That's what the New York Yankees got last year. That's not good.
At least he ended the year really well.
That's bad.
Oh, no. My bad. His last outing was he didn't record an out.
The worst one.
Gave up 8 earned runs.
2022, the year before, the year previous,
Yeah.
178 innings, 31 starts, a 2.88 ERA. So I can see why there's a little bit of variance with this fellow.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
What number out of the 3 I'm about to give do you think are most important? This talk radio. Game started. Innings pitched. Or ERA?
For Rodon, the answer is innings pitched. Because if we're going to allow him to pitch a lot of innings, that means he's been decently successful.
Beebs, this is like the Yankees aptitude test when they get hired. Remember where we took that? It was awful.
God.
What was the first one you said? Game started?
Game started.
So game started, innings pitched, or ERA?
Yep.
I like the ideology behind innings pitched because that probably means his ERA is being good enough. Like there's some tandem stats there. Assuming healthy by the playoffs, I kind of care the most about him just like being awesome when he pitches. So my gut instinct was ERA. And I will roll with it just for the sake of having a different answer. But they're 1A, 1B for me.
My correct answer, which doesn't have to be anyone else's correct answer,
Your aptitude test.
is innings pitched. For the reasons Jake said. I think if and there's for the reasons Jake said of like if he's pitching this many innings, he's probably doing pretty well and being healthy.
He's good enough.
I don't need this guy to be a 2 ERA or a 3-1.
Be nice.
But I believe in our offense for now. There are some things we got to figure out there, and the bullpen. But I don't believe in the bullpen if our number 2 is going 4 2/3 every start on average, which is what he did last year, because that's 5 innings or 4+ you got to get from the pen, and that's way too many to sustain, just like any skill or health for the bullpen and starting rotation and all that. So if he's not averaging, 5 2/3, 6 innings,
yeah,
there's just so much more damage being done.
Yeah, and last year it's twofold, right? Because he was, he came in with a pretty strict pitch limit because he jumped in mid-season and they want to get him out there. And then he was also bad.
Yep.
So that's where, there were some interesting conversations around the office and now here with you guys on Talkin' Yanks, comment below. But you can view Rodon as potentially an easy win for this season because you'd like to think it can't be nearly as bad. Like even if he gave us 30 starts to the tune of a 4.3, that's a win out of Rodon, especially compared to last year. And there should be just more in the tank. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where he is probably the biggest swing between World Series dreams and not.
Yeah.
You can still win a lot of games if Carlos Rodon is somewhere near an average pitcher.
Someone else, Stroman would have to be really good, and then Clark
Stroman
or Nestor,
would have to,
step up.
Both of those guys have had all-star halves of seasons,
I know.
You knew.
I knew that.
Circling back on
What are you circling back
my
on?
answer, that I've been swayed by you guys.
The judge. No, you can't go back to the judge.
I didn't even say you were wrong. I said my correct answer.
You can't change the aptitude
And I
test.
said there were 1A, 1B. I'm flipping the A's and B's. And just, coming off the year he just had, if he can just be quality enough to give a ton of innings, that is very important. We can focus on you being dominant, and being like the value we're kind of paying for in future years. But
I think I have the best X factor.
Well, are you going to do it now? Because you have 3.
Yeah. Well, we're going by age.
Yeah, I went like deep cut, so I don't really have first rounders on my board.
That's fine.
Yeah?
That's fine.
Yeah.
My answer to this question is Jasson Dominguez.
Oh.
On my board.
Because, the Yankees are going to roll the ball out there. Judge and Soto are two of the more dynamic hitters to be paired together. Obviously, their health and things like that. You're going to get contributions elsewhere. Last year can't be as bad as last year, yada, yada, yada. Let's say last year is somewhat similar to last year, which isn't out of the realm. The AL East is still really good. It's going to feel different because the offense can't be as despicable as it was last year.
Yeah, there's ways to get to the record they got to, and they took a pretty treacherous path.
But I'm saying, we've also seen Yankee teams, and we say this a lot, if you have 2 good months and you have 4 500 months, not only could you win the division, but especially with today's wild cards, you're a playoff team, locked. It's almost impossible not to. So say the Yankees are kind of trudging through the first couple months of the season. 14 and 13 month, right around there, couple hot streak, cold streak, hot streak, cold streak.
Hot streak, cold streak, hot streak, cold streak.
We're going to have our opinions about the teams, and, let's see who's having good years and bad years. But the day our sweet prince comes back, that's going to feel like a change. That's going to feel like an instant change. So if Jasson Dominguez comes back and he's a switch-hitting center fielder with pop, speed, and he's contributing, whether that's middle, top, bottom of the lineup, the whole team will feel different instantly. You can almost wash away 3 months if Jasson Dominguez shows up and the boys start playing better ball. So I thought he was a good example of an X factor for the season.
I don't disagree with you on anything you said.
Okay.
But I have a different approach to the information that you are pouring out. I'm trying very hard to forget he exists.
Right. But I'm putting that in my envelope.
I want to Men in Black myself after this conversation, and I forget he exists until he's healthy, and then he shows up and he's got that cute little alien face, all smushed.
Alien. I was gonna say lineup looks good without him.
And and I'm like, oh my god,
yeah,
this dude's here.
Yeah,
this dude's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was coming, and that's how I want to feel. So I'm actively suppressing excitement or joy. I want to wake up one day and it's Christmas, and I didn't even know we were in winter.
I understand the sensation. I would put that in my envelope with it.
Okay, so you're putting a pill in there.
There was pills in there.
Okay,
There's a lot of pills in that envelope.
4 homers in 8 games.
No,
for Jasson.
No.
Is he named after Giambi?
Yes.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Don't start saying the good stats. I'm trying to actively forget.
Do we have a him and Giambi picture yet?
Batted him 3 hole.
The team was awful.
The
team was awful.
Immediately middle of the lineup.
Do we have a picture of them together yet? Put that as an X factor for this season. Give me the.
It's gonna be a Giambi.
Give me the Giambi Dominguez pick.
Okay. Is Giambi cool with everyone?
I don't know.
Come back for old timers.
It feels like something you have to ask, but I don't think he ruffled any feathers.
I think he was liked.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's just the steroid stuff. But then he, redemption. That name is Jason.
Old Timers Day. I think he came back for an Old Timers Day.
Was he there last year?
There's a picture of him and Swish.
Yeah.
Let's see. 2018, why Jasson Giambi turned down Yankees job offer. Who's your X factor?
You're first.
It's not a who or him. It's not a
him like a poem song?
No. Prose. It's a team stat.
Okay.
That I need improvement on.
Love it.
Wins. And this isn't going to shock anyone that listened last year. The Yankees had 27 hits in 3-1 counts last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's good for last place out of all 30 teams.
Right.
30th. Now I asked Boone, in April, he said that'll change. don't worry, that'll change. He was wrong. Mona Lisa Vito. That's what I did.
Smile.
It was really bad.
Smile a little bit.
It was really bad.
Really bad.
Now, if you go even deeper, Jake, and you go to, I did 2-0 counts and 3-1 counts. 2 counts if you're new to baseball.
Hitter counts.
Hitter counts. The pitcher doesn't want to fall behind 3-0.
Part of my Snell theory.
The pitcher doesn't want to walk you when you're at 3-1. Usually you get a fastball in the zone. So if I look at 3-1 pitches and 2-0 pitches where the pitcher threw a fastball in the zone, the Yankees were 27th in baseball at that. Behind them, the Guardians, the Rockies, and the Royals. They had 27 hits on fastballs in the zone. Now, if I take away 2-0, because, all right, this dude's wild. You know? Wait, see a pitch, work the count.
We're seeing pitches. We're trying to get his pitch count up.
Yeah. I don't know where they land. Where's the 23rd? So I just need them to be above average at this and not be dead last in 3-1 hits. And now it's partially the stat, but also the mindset / skill ability.
Right.
Like be a hitter.
Get into a hitter's
be
count.
Be an MLB hitter. 3-1 stats, usually you look at the slash line and average players have all-star numbers. Right. So that's what.
Can I ask you a question?
3-1, 2-0. Guys are awesome.
The Yankees had a
pause.
Yeah, I can't find it. I closed too many tabs.
Okay.
Not worth it.
This was just gonna put. We're the best teams in baseball at the top of the list. Like the Atlanta Braves, yeah, I would have to assume from last year.
Well, they had the most hits in the 3-1 count.
Right.
Is your assumption?
A top.
Yeah, they were.
I'd assume they'd be around the top.
The D-backs were in the World Series. They were up there.
Okay.
The Astros.
They got there because of their approach.
Do you think the Astros are good?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the Dodgers?
Yes.
The Rays?
Not anymore.
Blue Jays? Yeah. Those were the top 5.
Okay.
The bottom 5.
Right.
Royals.
Right. Bad.
Guardians.
Bad.
Nationals.
Bad.
Yankees.
Bad.
That's 4. Baltimore is 26.
Huh.
Oh.
Young.
Something to work on for the kids.
I mean, extra base hits, the Yankees had 9.
In 3-1 counts.
In 3-1 counts.
It's a good
9.
pitch.
The Guardians had 10 doubles. The Royals had 10 doubles. Yanks had 4 doubles in 3-1 counts. And 5 homers and 1 triple. That's fucking unbelievable. This used to make me mad all the time last year, remember?
I'm mad.
Oh, I'm so mad. Fuck. So that's a statistical X factor I need to see change.
Makes sense. I don't think there's anything to argue against.
It's just hitting.
Right.
It's just approach. Like, they fired their hitting coach and they revamped the system, and everyone talks about, well, they just liked launch angle. They just liked hard hit. Sure, I don't disagree with those. That seemed to be a problem. But also, they just didn't work counts, have an understanding of the count.
They didn't have good hitters.
Yes. They had 10 extra base hits in 3-1 counts, 28th.
We let some people bang a little too much. Do you want to go again? Do you want to?
Oh, we're snaking it?
I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Sure.
Unless you're not.
No, I'll go again.
Okay.
Does that make you joyous?
Yeah. It makes me 45 minutes away from having a raging boner, I guess. Joy mode.
Joy mode. I think all of us have our joy mode. And if you're struggling with your performance while you're doing your joy mode, you should go check out Joy Mode. The issue: over-the-counter erection pills contain unregulated chemicals. Hello. Don't want that in the system. Sometimes they suggest unsafe doses and include the risk of several other health partners. we've partnered with Joy Mode to spice up your intimate moments. Their sexual performance booster is every man's solution for increased blood flow, firmness, stamina, and performance, all below the belt. It's like pre-workout for sex for my fellow workout people. That can make sense for you. And it's a little like a electrolyte package. So you put it in 6 to 8 ounces of water 45 minutes before, and then bing bong.
Bing bong.
Joy Mode time. Use joymode.com/Yanks, and you'll get 20% off with code Yanks at checkout. That's joymode.com/Yanks. 20% off and free shipping. Great sex solved naturally.
On the back of the packet here, it says, just one line says, no gluten, no high glycemic sweeteners, no nasty stuff. No nasty stuff, because you'll be doing that in the bedroom.
Save your nasty stuff.
Shave your nasty stuff. My next one is,
are you going with
it
this
revolves around the big man, Giancarlo Stanton.
Oh!
I need him to hit fastballs again.
It's a good one.
It's a good one. If he can attack velo again,
right?
I don't even need him to have I need him to be a threat and not an easy out. If he's healthy and in the lineup, and if he can fucking smash a fastball like he used to be able to,
yeah,
and he couldn't last year, then I think he provides enough of a threat and will run into home runs and hits.
Right.
There's some interesting stuff about his launch angle and hard hit rate. Some people think he was, his whiff rate went up. I think he was like bottom 3% or whatever, however you want to say it, in the league at whiff rate. And people think he was trying to sell out for power, where he, you don't think of Stanton as a ground ball hitter, but when he first came over, he like led the league in infield hits because he was scaring infielders away from making plays because he hit
third baseman were playing in left field.
Hit the ball so hard, yeah.
Back, he'd hit it like
yes.
In
chopper. In 2018, he had a 45% ground ball rate. Now that went down, not drastically, but it went down, and the fly ball rate has gone up. A couple percentages. So I just think if he doesn't need to hit fly balls, he needs to hit line drives. Now, I don't care about all of that data because there was other people that are more focused on that stuff, but just like, we need it. If a guy's got a 95-mile-per-hour fastball, he can't feel confident that he can throw it, high end in the zone against you. You're Giancarlo Stanton.
Right.
So that's the big difference there, that I need him early in spring training just to be popping fastballs.
G is really interesting because, especially with the X Factor conversation.
Mm-hmm. That was Swedish.
I saw a decent Nick Swartzen clip. He's talking about when you're driving your buddies through the drive-thru and they're really drunk. He turns to his first buddy and his buddy's just like, "How are you?" Nick Swartzen just drops very casual, I just don't speak Japanese. And it got me. For Giancarlo, it feels like Cashman offensively tried to build a roster that if Giancarlo Stanton isn't a factor in this season, they could get enough from their lineup that, like, they might not need him. Like, there's Jasson, who you're not thinking about.
Yep.
But when he comes back, in theory, if everyone's healthy,
no room.
A good player would have to go to the bench. Now, that's probably something we're not going to have to daydream about even come, like, April 1st, because injuries will happen. But right now the lineup, and it's where things get fun. Like, Fangraphs has Giancarlo Stanton penciled in at the 7th spot. So it's the double-edged sword here. I think the Yankees are trying to be prepared if Big G is heading towards a bad place that he was in last year, that they can have enough offensively to still go. But if he is any form of Giancarlo Stanton, the guy with, did he cross 400 Major League home runs last year?
Mm-hmm.
402. Like, the guy hit 31 in 110 games in 2022, and he was broken for like half the season.
Yeah.
Like, if you get that guy as a 7-hole hitter, it would be an X factor.
It would be an X factor. I agree.
Nice, Jim. Here we go.
Sound the alarm, sound the alarm. Tonight on the Warehouse Games channel, Team Jimmy versus Team Jake in Ball and Play League. It's an amazing matchup. It's the second of the season. We drafted our players and we made trades, and now we're putting it all out on the field to see who's going to be the victor. It's Team Jimmy versus Team Jake tonight on the Warehouse Games YouTube channel at 6 p.m.
Back to the show. Okay, good stuff, Jim. I'm going to do my X Factor. You've inspired me a little bit.
I have?
Yeah.
That means a lot.
Yeah, man. And I'm going to go with a statistic.
More finish out of you.
Because there's a couple things that you've noted and Davis has noted previously that I'm going to combine here. You talked about the pitch count, working the count. We've seen this with the Yankees, and we didn't even know we were seeing it originally. 90s Yankees worked the count. We didn't even know. We just thought they were good, and they were. The Yankees have kept a tradition of on-base guys, power-hitting lefties. We've talked about a lot of this. The Yankees next year will need to work counts and get on base a lot more, right? If they want any chance of success. So the lazy answer would be get on base, right? OBP, they were 27th in on-base percentage last year.
Ain't my Yanks.
But, Jim, there's another thing going on here. Even if these Yankees get on base, as Davis Wimbledon once pointed out to me in the back of an Uber, there's no speed on this team. So a stat that is an X factor for me will be ground into double plays.
Oh, I thought you were going to go to Anthony Volpe.
No. So if my New York Yankees this year, let's say the change has been made, which healthy Judge, healthy Rizzo, Juan Soto, Verdugo, whoever, Gleyber Torres contract year, DJ LeMahieu, what version of him do we get? If these Yankees are getting on base, which I think they can, I need us not to roll the 2-ball because we still don't have a lot of speed anywhere. And again, flashbacks to the 2021 Yankees that were very frustrating. They hit so many double play balls. And I guess they had guys that were technically slower between Voit and Gio. But this team has one speed player currently in the lineup, and that's Volpe.
Well, I mean, Soto grabbed some bags last year, 12.
Yep. It's one less than Gleyber.
Extra base taken, Soto, 35%. But why would he?
No need.
What about Verdugo? Does he have like sneaky base? I'm going to guess no. I'm not trying to. I'm not being.
I just know his pure foot speed isn't anything great. I'm curious to find out if he's got some extra base taken stuff.
55% last year.
Okay.
It was higher earlier in his career, which was pretty not bad. And did he steal last year? He got 5 stolen bases and 3 caught stealing. That's pretty bad.
Not a lot of speed on our Yanks, so I'd really like us to avoid the double play ball. And a part of that, like we talked about with Rodon, where you could point to ERA, innings, whatever it is, if the Yankees aren't grounding into a lot of double plays, I would hope they're getting on base. If they are getting on base a lot, I think that would just be frustrating. So I don't know.
You don't know. You don't know. Okay. Beebs?
Yeah. Team just isn't very fast.
In a game and season where a game became pretty evident, athleticism and being young and being speedy was a real
helps
addition that you could have. I wouldn't say it made or like you could be a good team without it, but if you have that, it was like, oh, like for baseball for a while.
Create.
If you were like doing a baseball like video game, how video games you're like, oh, that's attributes. Power hitting.
Right.
Contact hitting. Speed. For 6 years, they just were like, fuck speed. The whole league basically was like, this is not. Besides the Royals loved it.
This is not
Stealing isn't worth
but
it.
But now teams are like,
extra
ooh,
bases are rarely worth
hey,
it.
that speed attribute's like pretty useful. Maybe we should trade in some power, like just like one of our power stars for a speed. And the Yankees still haven't done that.
Or have power stars with speed.
Yeah.
Guys who hit the ball hard can run fast.
But it's not necessary. Can't do it.
Judge is still the second fastest Yankee in the starting lineup.
Is Grisham fast? Like, can he pinch run?
Grisham's fast.
Grisham
and does he grab bags?
Are pinch run options.
Yeah. And Diego Castillo.
Right.
Jeter Downs, gone. Oscar Gonzalez, gone. Those
Oswaldo technically on the bench right now. We think by opening day the plan should be he's in AAA.
I don't have him
pinch
being
run option.
Is he? I don't have
compared
him
to the starting lineup. Yes.
Pinch running is in like if the ball's hit and that you're going to get there faster. I don't have him getting subbed in to be like, hey, we need you to go first or third.
I think I would have Grisham and Peraza above him, but he does have speed.
Yeah, I'm not talking speed. I'm talking like base running. You bring in guys and they're going to like be hungry.
He did a chunk of that last year.
He's done it.
Okay.
I think it is on other teams.
Yeah.
It wouldn't stand out as much, but I think on this team, it can.
I think a few times last year he was the Yankees guy for that. Okay. Says more about the Yankees than him, I think. But
sprint speed 63rd percentile. Oswaldo.
Shrub.
Not special speed. But
Beebs, do you have an X factor?
I do have an X factor that I am excited has made its way back to me because I've been thinking about this guy kind of a lot since this weekend. He popped in my head. He's a guy who's been in this office. He's a guy I think we all like. Jake ran into him somewhat recently, as in once this offseason. The only incumbent impact lefty. And that is Anthony Rizzo, who spent most of last season hurt. A substantial amount of it bad, we think, due to hurt. And we've been kind of compartmentalizing ourselves this offseason, and I choose to continue to. They're like, okay, all the bad was due to that concussion that really messed him up. They really need him to be healthy, like $130 games and at least pretty good. I'm not asking him to be who he was even before that injury last year. The day he got hurt, he exited that game with an 880 OPS, a 304 batting average at the end of May. I'm not asking him to even be that guy. I just need you to be good and pretty healthy, because he's a guy that if he isn't either of those things, and Peraza hasn't fully taken a leap that I don't think we're expecting him to take this year, it'd be a welcome surprise. The Yankees will need to midseason get a first or third baseman if Rizzo isn't available or isn't good. I don't have a very high bar set there, but that's a move they will have to make.
So what numbers are you looking? Just games played?
Games played, I guess, would be the biggest thing there for him. And
it doesn't have to be a stat. X factor.
He's just a guy,
a human.
He needs to be.
Does Rizzo being good?
Needs to be not a problem. And I'm choosing to compartmentalize everything bad from last year as just that was the injury. This offseason, we couldn't focus on them upgrading that spot or anything.
I think it's very fair. If they diagnosed his concussion properly right away when the rest of the world did, he would have ended last year with a 304 batting average, a 376 on base, 508 slugging. And that's the stat we would be looking at and be like, damn, it got cut short. But instead, they didn't understand what the rest of the world understood, and that he was concussed, and they let him play for 2 more months, and his numbers
tanked.
Tanked.
It's the worst stretch of his career.
The dude was concussed and said he was seeing things in slow motion, and as a viewer, we were watching it and saying, hey, man, that guy's concussed. And finally, they were like, yeah, maybe you're right. So,
when I was making my lists of potential options I'd love to mention here, like Stanton is a guy who came up, and I think he's very high on my list there, but they have outfielders in-house right now. Rizzo, there's not an in-house option. Even if you think Wells is a first baseman, he hasn't done it yet.
DJ.
But then who's playing third? There would be a third base opening then, which do we want Peraza playing every day yet? He hasn't earned that yet. They would have to mid-season, at the deadline.
It's a ripple effect that there's...
Yeah. There's like
I think
literally options.
it's
Yes,
more if I'm not worried about first base. I'm worried about lefty power because if he
he's one of the only.
Yeah.
They addressed lefty power and got some more of that this year.
They got Soto and Verdugo, but I mean, Rizzo kind of really taught him. Like he was looking really good at the stadium, and the on base and the power. I know Soto has it, but like to have two of those guys is awesome. And if DJ goes to first and Peraza goes to third, I'm not that worried defensively. But
the lineup feels a lot.
But now the skill set and batting styles you have between the infield is like, ooh.
It'd be, and it's just a bigger hit to overall depth.
Yeah.
So Rizzo just is a big one for me. That came about. I was thinking about like his option for next year because it's like a $6 million buyout on the 17th. So it's like a pretty likely that gets picked up because he just has to beat 11 million in production in 2025, and I think the Yankees would believe he could do that. But then that got me thinking about like, okay, but then this year. They should need him to be around, really.
I don't know why I'm like actively working on this.
Okay.
But I'm deciding to just say Rizzo's going to be good.
And that's what I've been doing. Because the concussion stats, it is very clear. But, because we watched him play with that concussion,
right.
There is just like my brain is like fighting itself like, oh, no, but you saw he was bad for those 2 months. Like that could come out. And then the angel on my shoulder is like, no, dude, that's concussed. That's not
he
normal.
Had a problem.
And then the devil's like, but what if he's never? And they're like, what? But
You're devil from like deep Jersey?
What if he's never? Yeah. So, but I'm really working hard on just like, okay, Rizzo's going to be there. He's going to be good. Text from my wife. How are you going to tell me I'm not ambidextrous? I don't think we've ever had that discussion.
Just don't tell her she's not, bro.
So I drew this with my left hand while laying down.
Dude,
I'll say, let me see right hand while laying down.
Promise me. Just promise me you don't tell her that.
I mean, every day I wake up.
Let's do our final bingo round of X Factors, high and tight, and then we'll get Joe's. DraftKings, official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. It's bringing you the offer that'll make the playoffs electrifying. $5 on any game, and you'll get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code YANKS. New customers can bet just $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code YANKS. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, 21 plus, ages vary by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Thebes?
Yes. I do have a couple guys I have been thinking about talking about here. I think I've decided which one I would like to highlight. And that's another new guy who we've sort of... I feel like we keep reminding ourselves that the Yankees added Alex Verdugo. Like once a week, I feel like Jake and I look like each other like, Verdugo's on the team this year now. And like I just want to remind the people. I used this argument when we were talking about the Yankees and their pursuit of Soto. It stands with Verdugo as well. Like the Yankees' left field production was the very worst in baseball last year. Alex Verdugo, on the whole, his numbers last year, not gaudy, but they are a huge upgrade on what they got. And looking at his month by month, he had 2 dreadful months. He can't have 2 of those.
Verdugo?
He had 2 awful months, and the other 4 months.
What was the first one?
Really good.
September was awful because he got benched and clearly they had broken up.
Yeah, there was like a incident that happened. July was terrible, 478 OPS in 20 games. But his OPS in the other months, April 851, May 789, sorry. June 862, and August he had an 835. Like the Yankees had that. That's an extra left-handed contributor. Every day, 2 months that he was a zero. You can't do that here, but especially So if he can hit like that, be an impact guy most of the year, he's going to be kind of a bonus piece on this team, we think. Maybe there's a chance he's doing some leading off first righties, see how the other guys are playing. He's also a guy, like, if he's going to be playing a lot of Yankee Stadium left field, he's going to be playing a lot of the harder of the corner outfielders. We think that seems to be the Yankees' game plan. So if he can play a good enough defense, I would be a consistent contributor. It's such an upgrade over what the Yankees are doing. He's not one of the outfielders that we think is going to be defensively substituted, because Judge, you might get him days off his feet just because he's playing a lot of center field. Soto probably we'll find to be a liability in the outfield, so you're going to get him ninth innings out of there potentially. Like, he's not a guy that's going to be defensively subbed, I don't think. So you need him to play good defense and be the contributor he was for most of last season, which was a really good year. Just 2 months that were dreadful.
Yeah, I think as a pro butter knifer, you just basically cut out September, because the Red Sox season was over anyways. So that's just probably miserable times. So through August 30th, you're looking at a 277, 341, 781 OPS, which would have made him, and even when you add his bad final month, he would have been the third best hitter on the Yankees last year. And this is a guy that we currently have slotted like 6-hole to break up the lineup, like 6-hole to kind of be rude to Stanton to spark him. So the feel of Alex Verdugo, man, he's really in a contract year coming from the Red Sox to the Yankees. If he can be the ball player that he is on his baseball card, I think he'll be beloved.
If you're good, you're going to be beloved. He's got a little spunk. Hopefully it's good spunk, or hopefully the first couple years of it are good, and what happened at the end in Boston doesn't happen because it's only a 1-year thing here.
Right.
Outfield situation is interesting. They said Judge is going to play left field. They said that they've been talking about Judge playing left field. So that's kind of
hear that every year.
Interest. I've never heard. They never say that.
Last year was a big conversation
last
that
spring
it was
training.
going to happen.
He's going to play left field a ton.
He did it in spring for like a week, and we never saw it once in a real game. We did whole episodes about it.
Oh, I don't remember that. But it was early. They said, Boone said he's talked to Judge about it already. They need to.
Yeah.
Judge needs to this year. I don't know if they needed to last year.
Well,
especially with him also
Soto
getting
is
hurt.
bad. Like, you can't put Soto in left. So if Verdugo is not starting, Judge needs to play left, and Trent Grisham plays center, and Soto plays right. Soto is minus 11 outs above average in the outfield, and left field is huge.
I agree, but they have proven time and time again that they've been super weird about playing Judge in left. So
he must really not like it, and because Boone's got to desperately want Judge playing left.
Right.
Because this is now back-to-back off seasons. Like Boone brought that to the table. It's like that's going to be an option. So on Boone's end, I think he's good with it.
He still hasn't played an inning out there, right?
Not in
regular season.
Not in a real game.
Crazy.
Some games in. I think it was like a hilarious thing last spring training. Like he got out there for 5 spring games and like a ball was hit there. Like the days he was there just happened to be days nothing hit to left field.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Sometimes the ball finds you, sometimes it doesn't.
Who's up?
I think it's me.
For your final X factor.
I'm going to go with some energy. I'm going to go with the fan favorite, and I think this plays well off Rodon while also complimenting Stroman on the way. I'm going to go Nestor Cortes Jr.
Okay.
Because one of the things that Nestor also provided, man, is that good energy. Like, Nestor days used to be so hype.
Yep.
They provided something that the Yankees literally did not have. And he was bad last year. He was going through injuries. If you remember his last outing, he looked as dominant as he looked. 4 innings against the Astros. He only gave up that 1 hit. It was a home run. And that was his last start of the year, out for the season. So for me, for Nestor, I think we'd be lying to ourselves. For that Rodon we talked about, innings, ERA, whatever the final stat was. For Nestor, I want the good Nestor And I'm prepared that the innings could be closer to 100, 120, because he's only cleared 100 innings once. So whenever Nestor is out there next year, I need him to be the good Nestor. Or, excuse me, we're talking X factors. If I get the good Nestor when he's out there next year, that's an X factor for the Yankees. That when he's on the bump, you know you're getting a good, like, impactful, quick outing.
And Nestor being fun, like those being cocky days, would be awesome. Remember that game in 2021 against the White Sox when he was just mowing people down, doing the no-look throw and walking off the mound? People. Yeah, I am worried because the rules did change a lot of his game, So he was a quick pitch guy. Now they got to make eye contact. But yeah, if it's confident Nestor starts, that's awesome. It's beautiful.
Changes the whole vibe, right?
Yeah.
And like you'd look at him as if he's the guy performance-wise from 21 to 22, that's a playoff start guy.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, this is somewhat of a PPP type topic, which those are coming soon, guys. Get excited. Best time of the year. So one thing that has me like, I'm optimistic on Nestor is like whatever he had going on, that third time through the order stuff is what messed up all his stats because he was awesome the first 2 times through when he pitched last year, like consistently. So it's on him and the Yankees to figure out like how to avoid that because that is a big problem long term. But like, it's not like he was completely ineffective, like start to finish in like all of his games. Like there was good in there, and it felt like every game it would be like, well, before he get the first injury, every game was like, oh, Nestor was awesome, and then, oh, no, then he wasn't, and that ruined the day. Like, they need to find an answer for that, but ability is in there.
He was getting gassed.
Fatigue.
He was getting gassed. There's been citing of like conditioning or was that a sign of the injury or whatever, but so they need an answer for that, but ability is there. Like the first 2 times through the order, he was mowing dudes down. Yeah,
I wonder what his splits are there. Let me go get.
I have first time through the order, 474 OPS by opponents, 162 batting average. Second time through the order, still really good, 232 batting average, 660 OPS. And third time through the order, 54 plate appearances. Guys were 1.5 OPS against.
Oh yeah, that was very loud last year at the beginning of the year. I forgot that the first half of the season there were like real baseball talk going on. Like, hey,
yeah.
like
we had.
Our conversations are about like what have they got to do to fix
then
this
it was
Nestor
just then it was just 3 months straight
up until
of
the
like,
Judge injury.
It was like, yeah, this stinks. Yeah,
which that's your last pick, right?
Judge injury? No, I need Volpe to be good.
Okay, now we're talking. Anthony.
I was gonna try and like isolate a stat.
Sure.
If I were, it would be on base percentage.
Right. I might have a spin for you.
But like offensively, it almost is everything and like needs to be significantly better. Besides home runs, I'd like those to come down and start. I was trying to like change your launch angle. Let's get the fly balls way down to the teens. That's where DJ did all his damage. He was like, the fly ball rate was like in the teens. Volpe was like 25 fly ball rate last year. But in general, there's not a stat you can look at that you say this doesn't need to get better besides home runs. And I
think I've got you.
Yeah.
I think the Volpe stat could be games. Because if the rest of that Yankee team is better and it's a normal Yankee season and he puts up the stats he put up last year, his second year, I think people would start to get loud. I think people would start. He got covered up by last year's shit.
Just everything was bad.
Yeah, and Wander being a pedophile.
So if his games, if he ends up playing $159 games again, he can't put those numbers out there.
I don't even know. The Yankees just pretty stubborn here.
I think they got to be stubborn last year because he was a rookie and nothing panned out. If the team, they have Juan Soto for 1 year. If he's doing that and the rest of the team is good,
then it could get loud.
This defense got to get better. Than I know he won the Gold Glove, but come on, no one watched that season and said this guy's a Gold Glover.
By the end of the year, he did get better.
Yeah, for sure. I don't have a
Watching,
problem.
he felt like good shortstop.
Yeah.
Good shortstop. Good shortstop. I don't have a problem.
Yeah,
You just
I want to cover you on that.
we were just never like, holy shit! If he doesn't win the Gold Glove, this is crazy. Like, at no point did any Yankee fan say those words. But the defense was good.
There was times in the limited times we played Tampa Bay that Wander made some plays that you're like, holy shit.
If the offense stays the same, the defense has to get to that spot for them to play him 160. It needs to be like, this dude's a difference maker, because Peraza is a better shortstop by all accounts, by everyone in the organization and scouts.
Yeah.
So
I suppose, yeah.
He's an interesting
Again heads towards a sort of PPP style question, but I guess my question that maybe you should keep in the back of your head for that episode is like, what do you consider significantly better offensively?
Above average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's below average. He's below league average in every slash line.
Almost one skill has to be above average.
Yeah. That's like
contact, on base.
Yeah.
One of those he has to like solve.
Or like the stolen bases have to be like 40.
Yeah.
Finish at 24 last year.
It's a real ugly Baseball Reference page. I know he's a rookie and very young.
It cannot be.
But next year we need to see we need to see some other stuff.
If you look back and say that's his 21-year-old rookie year, that cannot be an ugly page.
Should be great.
There's plenty of examples of guys like, all right, year two, they're maybe on the whole just under your league average. After a year like that, that would be a significant upgrade.
Yeah.
Like going from 81 OPS plus to 97.
They also fucked with him a little bit, moving him up in the lineup and stuff.
And Jake,
don't do the lineup stuff with him.
And if Peraza has a great spring and Volpe has a bad spring, it's already loud. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
It's already loud if that happens. Because Peraza got fucked.
But nobody cares.
I think they would.
It wouldn't get loud till 2 weeks in.
Well, the people that care
Peraza would have to force
the people that read the box scores and write Brian Hope letters.
He won the Gold Glove. The
Yankees wouldn't care.
Spring training doesn't matter.
The Yankees don't care at all.
Volpe's covered through spring.
Fuck, I want an open competition.
I know you do.
All right, should we get Joe? I think he's recording. Or should we?
Yeah, he's recording Jam Live. We'll jump in there. Go check us out over there. And we'll get his X Factor.
Danny Lopriori's over there.
Danny Loprior.
Go Yanks. Tell him, Grams.
Go Yankees.